Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Inked with Elegance by Christine J. I am back with a scrapbook layout today, and it's a photo that is long overdue to be scrapbooked. I didn't know what I wanted to scrapbook today, but I knew I wanted to scrapbook something, and so I am pulled up an oldie but goodie. So I'm gonna start with the wording, I think, piecing together the wording, but for this layout, it's gonna be maybe a new technique to some of you. I have seen it floating around on YouTube, and I did use it prior on another layout, but I don't know that I recorded that one. So I thought, okay, well, maybe I should come back and do the tutorial for it in case other people want to create something similar. So it has a really big impact on the layout, and it makes a big impact, and depending on what colors you choose, each layout can look different but using the same components. So basically you would need 3 6x6 squares. If you were making a 12x12 sheet, you would need 3 6x6, preferably double-sided, although you can have a solid color in the background. You just want to make sure that the back side and the front side sort of jive together. If it's going to be a solid color, you're not going to want like a bright blue or something if this is the other side of it. The reason for that is you will be folding it to create this technique, and so once you have your 6x6 squares, you're going to need to cut triangles out of them. So you're gonna get 4 triangles out of it, and it would be simply putting it in the paper trimmer and lining the tips up and then cutting it one way, and same thing, doing the same thing with each bigger triangle. So after that, you're gonna want 6 of them, 4, 8, 12, yes, correct. You're gonna want 6 of them with one side facing up and 6 of them with the other side facing up. Then all you're gonna do is take the triangle and then fold down to the center. And if it's easier, you can hold it up against like a straight edge, so that once you fold it, you can get it somewhat to line up with your edges. But you know, I feel like it's a little forgiving. So you're gonna have one side look like that, and then you're gonna have 6 that are the opposite. I usually like to try and match my photo in some way, shape, or form. And so you'll see in a bit when I bring the photo out that the coloring sort of matches. It wasn't perfect, but it'll be okay. So you need 6 of these and 6 of these, and you'll see why in a moment. So let's go ahead and piece together the title. And the title for this one is Cutest Cowgirl. I keep forgetting what I titled it myself because I cut it a little bit ago. So I think I wanted some kind of country western, but I didn't like, there was one font in Cricut that was like a rope, and I've used it before on, if you remember my Donald and Daisy layout from Tokyo, I used the font for that. And I was like, well, I don't really want to, it's not that I cared about duplicating another layout per se, but that rope one was a little bit hard to cut the last time or piece together. So for this one, I just searched up, I want to say I searched up country or cowboy, and then this one popped up. And so I'm gonna pull out the little tracing because I don't know which way. I guess it doesn't really matter which way it goes, but I wasn't really sure. Okay, well, this one has a bad side anyways. It looks like the paper might have got like a little rubbed anyways, so I guess that it chose which way it wanted to be faced up. So anyway, I found this font and I thought, okay, well, this will work. And I didn't want it to get lost in the page since it's kind of skinny, and so I ended up doing a overlay, or wait, not overlay, I did a outline of the white so that it can pop up on the layout. So the photo I'm using for this layout is my daughter when she was little. She was sitting on, my husband and his family had this vintage, well I guess it's vintage now, toy horse. It's the type on the springs, and my boys loved it when they were a child, but it was kind of dangerous. Our second one ended up actually chipping his baby tooth on the corner of the pipe because it didn't have any kind of supports, and he was just learning to pull himself up, and we thought we were holding him well. Just when we grabbed him, he slipped and he chipped his tooth on the corner. So that was kind of sad, and he had that little chip in his tooth all the way until his baby teeth fell out. But anyways, it's the type of horse with the spring, and I'm guessing it's not super well known because I tried to look on Cricut for an image of that to cut out, and I couldn't find one, believe it or not. So I ended up browsing around at horse, like a bunch of different horse ones, and I've had one bookmarked that I really liked for a while. Not necessarily for this layout. I didn't even know when I would use it. I just knew I wanted to use it at some point because it was just really cute. And actually, I think it's gonna work out okay for this layout. It's like a watercolor looking horse, so it was easy enough. I just did a print and cut of it because I think that I don't think it has the option to do layers, but it actually worked out perfect. I printed it on photo paper because I do like the gloss, and so there's the first word, and I think it came out cute because you can actually see the watercolor looking effect that it gives. And I was kind of not sure if I wanted to do it on like a white cardstock and print it on that, or if I wanted to do it on photo paper. And I just feel like every time I've printed on photo paper, it doesn't steer me wrong. It looks pretty nice, so I decided to do that. Of course, you know, photo paper is not the cheapest thing, but you know, when it's like on that, it's something that's worth it, so I guess it's fine. This paper was a little bit hard to cut for the Cricut. Either that or my blade's getting bad. It's hard to find them here for a good cost, so I need to replace that soon. And I'm sorry if you can hear my son. His room is next to my craft room, as I've said before, and he gets a little excited when he's playing his games. Thankfully this title didn't take too long to cut out, and it's not too bad to piece out. So today's layout is a single page. I didn't have enough photos of the subject for it to be double, but I think single's enough. Sometimes you just need that in there. So it can easily be changed if you're doing a page for a little boy. I'll probably save the layout so I can share it, and two, so that in the future I actually might have some photos of my boys when they used to jump on the horse too. But yeah, it's one of those spring horses, and the kids just really loved it. Eventually, my husband let my daughter paint it. So in the photo, it's one color. Later on, as she got older, I want to say she painted it white and purple. And we still have it, though obviously they can't sit on it anymore. We do get young kids that when they see it, kind of want to jump on when they come over. So we try to keep it hidden for that reason, for safety, as well as the fact that it's, you know, not the youngest thing in the house. Okay, so now that the title's glued, I'm going to set that aside for it to dry, and then we can go ahead and continue with the layout. So I don't really need this anymore, the cardboard. All right, so this is the photo. And I decided to go ahead and back it so it'd be similar to the letters. I went with I toggled with going white versus brown next to the photo, and I felt like the white just kind of got washed out with the colors of the photo, and then it worked better with the brown in here. And so I'm not really sure about the thickness of the border I went with, because it might actually block some of the background, which I don't like, but we're gonna go ahead and hope for the best. I'm gonna do just my glue runner tape for putting the photo on here. If for some reason ever one day I want to take the photo off, I can. I'm gonna attempt to center it as fast as I can. And that should be good. Now for this one, I'm gonna just glue I was supposed to work today, but my son's flight kept getting delayed out of LA, so he didn't come home until like 5 in the morning, and I had to pick him up. So needless to say, I was a bit tired. I was gonna take a nap, and then I thought, well, that might just throw off my schedule for tonight. So instead, I decided to do a little bit of crafting since my cousin was crafting and we were FaceTiming, and so I feel like my inspiration is more prominent when I'm crafting with somebody. So anyways, that is our photo. Let's set it aside. And then we have the page. So the way that this is gonna get laid out is you stagger it. So you're gonna do one of that color and then one of the opposite color, and you're gonna go around with that first. So I'm just gonna go ahead and glue this down. On my last one, I wanna say I tried to use pop dots for adhering this to itself, but I don't know if it made it any easier, because I feel like now it pops up even though it's in the sheet protector. I thought about just not doing nothing with it and leaving it, but it might need to be held down. I don't know. We'll see how it is after the photo is on. So yeah, you're gonna alternate the one color with the bottom, and then you're just going to, you know, sometimes the papers aren't exactly 12 by 12, but you're gonna just try your best to glue it down. And then I like to turn it just because it makes it easier. And the same thing, just continue on. And I hope you can see that. I'm gonna put it up a little because I can't see my camera or my phone. And you can try to flatten it if it's in your way. I try and line it up with the outside edge first before the center, because I want it to be able to reach all the way there. So if it's a little short, it's okay. Like I said, the papers sometimes aren't always the same. And then, like I was saying, this takes only 3 6x6 squares. So you can do whatever you want with the last square. Sometimes you can use it as accents on the page. I'm not really sure what I'll do with my last square. If I don't need it, I can just save it for something else, another project. hope everyone's Tuesday night or Tuesday went well, or if it's your Wednesday already by you're watching it, or any other day. I hope your day went well or is going well, or starts off well or ends well, whatever point you're watching this. I'm really grateful to be crafting, as it really helps with mental health. I feel like your mood is better. Sometimes you just need a de-stressor. If you have other hobbies, sometimes your hobby might be that de-stressor. All right, once you go around the edge like that, the next step would be to determine what color you want on either side of your photo, because you're gonna get the same color on either side, and then you'll get the same color on top to bottom. So I think I like this color on the side. So what I would do is that would be laid out here and here, and then this one would be laid out here and here. And what you do is you glue it to where your triangle looks like it flipped out of that spot. So if it helps for you to line it up that way, you can definitely flip that open. Just make sure you only put glue on this long side. And I do my photo last because sometimes photos will cover over it. Like I said, I've only done it one time prior, but I liked the look of it, and so I decided to try it again in a different color scheme. So there's that. I'm gonna bend that back. Okay, then I'm gonna do the same thing with this side. And bend that. And then I'm gonna move my photo for now, because my photo doesn't need to be there for me to line up the area. And you don't have to think because they're both in the same spot. Okay, there's that. I'm gonna flip that. And then the last one. Now, if you wanted to not block your background at all, then you would want to keep your photo within this boundary, which is highly doable depending on, you know, what your subject matter is in your photo. Mine, unfortunately, because she is on the horse, it will not be able to fit in that square unless I cut it smaller, and I really just didn't want the photo to be smaller. So I'm gonna actually secure my photo to where it's centered right in the middle, and I considered putting it under these tabs for the top and bottom, but I don't know. I don't want it to like cover her face either, and it wouldn't necessarily, I guess. See, that's hard. I wish if I was live, I could take a poll and see what everyone thinks, whether it's better over or under, but in this sense, I don't know actually how I want it. What I could do is just not adhere or tack that down so that I could later pull it out if I wanted it over. Or if I went center like that. So, and also you can decide whether you're going to tack these down or not, or leave them up. Like I said, when it's in the sheet protector, they kind of tend to stick up anyways, but I think what I'll do is probably just put a small glue dot, I mean not glue dot, a small little dab of glue. Just on the ones that are not under the photo for right now. This one is fine. That one somehow got bent, so I feel like it needs stronger. All right, so I guess it doesn't really matter about the top and bottom because the photo is going to block it, but what I can do is just put glue around it to adhere my photo, and if I want to pull that out later I can do so. So I think that's what I'll do for now. I'll leave the centers. Or I was gonna say that I could actually just use adhesive tape runner, but it's all right. I'm going to not put adhesive in the center for now in case I change my mind. And I do want to center it as best as possible, so I think somewhere around there is fine. I think that's cute. I love the way it looks. And then for the title, I'm thinking I'm gonna put it in this corner because I don't need all the grass to be showing, or the cooler, and that kind of will help cover that. I don't necessarily think it needs to be popped up because I can see it without me raising it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and just adhere it down. This paper is an old Stampin' Up paper that I've had for a really long time, so I'm actually happy that I'm using it. It was very cute. It was very like Hawaii for me at the time, and even though I don't scrapbook too much like Hawaii things. Or well, I'm gonna push that up a little while I was trying to cover the weed whacker. Okay. Hopefully that's straight. Close enough. Okay, and then this is the cute little cut that I was talking about that I had the watercolor effect. I don't necessarily like the fact that it gave it the white border when it did the print and cut. It printed it properly, and then when it cut, I haven't quite figured out how to change it to where it cuts closer. The only thing I have figured out is if you change it to a sticker and you do no border, then I can get it to cut closer. And I've done that with a Mickey layout I did in the past. And so I think I have to really remind myself in the future, if I use any type of cuts like this, that I am able to do that, switch it to the sticker. But then it usually gives me problems because it wants to ask what my material is, and then I'm not using sticker paper, I'm using photo paper, so then it has issues. For this one, I think I want to sit somewhere in this area. I don't want to block her leg, but I do need to block the bicycle just a little because it doesn't really need to be visible. I think that's cute right there. So all that's really left is the date and then some wording. I know I want to use some of these, but I'm not really sure yet. So I have to go and read through all these words, and then I was looking through some of these stickers because the coloring was cute, kind of matched that shorter sherbet appearance. So I will probably do that off camera so you don't have to see me ponder that. But this is the basics of the layout, and most likely I'll put a date on it, probably down here. I don't really need her name because, you know, I think our family members know who she is. So maybe a couple hearts or something. I haven't decided yet. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope this new technique, if it is new to you, has given you inspiration. And please feel free to tag me if you share it anywhere on, if you create it and share it anywhere on social media. Please feel free to tag me. I would love to see your creations, and if not, if there's a way to messenger or put it in the comment, feel free to do so. But thank you again for joining me, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.